Hello and welcome to Serendipity. I'm Jessalyn Wheelis from the Summit Library, and today's program is about animal heroes, animals that have done great things. And one of our stories is going to be fiction. That means it's a made-up story, but a wonderful story. And the other stories are going to be non-fiction. That means they're going to be true, things that really happened. Well, I'm going to start out with a fictional hero. And this fictional hero, I'm going to sing a song about him, is called Mighty Mouse. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen a Mighty Mouse cartoon. I doubt it. But when I was a child, we used to watch Mighty Mouse Theater. And it was a Mighty Mouse cartoon every week. And Mighty Mouse was just a mouse, but he could fly like Superman and had the power to do all the things that a superhero can do. And he had a wonderful theme song, and I want to sing that for you now. Mr. Trouble never comes around when he hears this mighty sound. Here I come to save the day. That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way. Oh, I made a mistake. We'll have to separate the intro from the song. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Mr. Trouble never hangs around when he hears this mighty sound. Here I come to save the day. That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way. Yes, sir, when there is a wrong to right, Mighty Mouse will join the fight. On the sea or on the land, he gets the situation well in hand. We're not worrying at all, we're just listening for his call. Here I come to save the day. That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way. Yes, sir, when there is a wrong to right, Mighty Mouse will join the fight. On the sea or on the land, you'll get the situation well in hand. The title of this book is Superdog, The Heart of a Hero. And it was written by Carolyn Buhner and illustrated by her husband, Mark Buhner. And in this picture with the title page where it says Superdog, you see the dog in the story, and he's reading a comic book called Planet Protector with a Superman type dog. And in this picture you see a movie coming soon that's about Captain KO, and Captain KO is a dog. And in this picture you see our dog looking in the mirror and flexing his muscles. And now he's looking in the mirror again. Dexter was a little dog. His legs were little, his tail was little, his body was little. He looked like a plump sausage sitting on 4 little meatballs. Being the size that he was, Dex was often overlooked. The other dogs grew tired of waiting for Dex to catch up when they played chase. And after a while, they forgot to invite him at all. No one really seemed to notice him except when Clevis the tomcat demonstrated how he could stand right over Dex and not even ruffle his fur. Yes, everything about Dex was little except for his dreams. He wanted to be a hero. He could just see it. The mighty Dex flew up into the dark and starry night. But wanting and being are two different things. Dex lived on dreams until one day After crawling out from under Clevis yet again, he decided there had to be more to life than gazing at the underside of a cat. There had to be more to him. If he could be a hero, he would. So, Dex started training. He read every superhero comic book he could find. He watched every hero movie ever made. He went to the library. Furiously, he studied, knowing everything depended on him. Dex figured that a hero must have strong muscles. He needed exercise and lots of it. Dex started trotting to the corner and back every morning. He hopped over every crack in the sidewalk. He struggled to climb the garbage pile, up and over and down, then up and over and down again. All day long he worked, day after day. Even at bedtime, when he wanted to flop on the rug with his tongue hanging out, Dex forced himself to circle 5 extra times. The mighty Dex pressed on through wind and rain and storm and fatigue. When it got easier to run to the corner and back, Dex did it again and then again. Then he dragged a sock filled with sand as he ran. Then 2 socks. When Clevis was bored and stood in the middle of the sidewalk to block his way, Dex dropped to the ground and slid right under him. He was too busy to be bothered by Clevis. Dex was tired. He was sore. He was working so hard that he almost forgot what he was working for. But one night, as he dragged himself to bed after his last set of push-ups, Dex stopped in front of the mirror and flexed. He could feel them. He could see them. Muscles. Faster than a rolling ball, stronger than the toughest rawhide, able to leap tall fences in a single bound. Now Dex didn't take the stairs, he skimmed them. He leaped over hydrants. He vaulted up curbs. He could jump over the garbage mountain without touching the top. He could run like the wind. He felt as if his legs had springs. Only one thing was missing. Finally, a small brown package arrived. Dex ripped it open. His hero suit. It was red, with a shiny green cape, and it fit like a glove. Dex loved the way it felt. He loved the way it looked, and he loved the feeling he had when he put it on. He was ready. With the courage of a lion, the strength of a bear, and the heart of a hero. When Dex went out in his suit for the very first time, he looked up and down the street. He noticed a young puppy trying to cross the street. Dex sprang into action. "May I help you?" he asked. He guided the wide-eyed pup across the street and grinned as the puppy stared up at him with his mouth hanging open. The puppy whispered, "Wow, it's Superdog." Superdog. Dex liked the sound of that. Of course, when Clevis saw Dex, he just had to comment, "Hey, Dex, where's the party?" And when he saw him a few days later, Clevis called out, "Look, everybody, it must be Halloween. Anybody got a treat for Dex?" Dex was so busy that he was able to ignore Clevis for the most part. The only time his face even got red was when Clevis yelled, "Where'd you get that dress up?" Dex had to wonder if Clevis saw anything but the suit. Didn't he understand that the suit was just a way to let people know he was there to help? The sun glinted off of his emerald cape as Superdog raced to the rescue. there was a mouse he saved from the sewer. A purse snatcher he tackled. He fixed his neighbor's sprinkler. He found a lost kitten, pulled a rat away from a live wire, tracked down a lost wallet, put out a trash fire, and organized a neighborhood cleanup day. It seemed that now, whenever anyone needed help, they turned to Dex, and Dex had never been happier. Late one evening, there was a banging at the door. When Dex answered, it seemed as if the whole neighborhood was yipping and yowling in a panic. "It's Clevis," they shouted. "He's stuck in a tree. Hurry, Dex, hurry." Dex raised his eyebrows. It was not like Clevis to move enough to get into any trouble. In a flash, he was dressed and ready. It was clearly a desperate situation. As he got closer, Dex could see Clevis. He had been chasing a squirrel to the top of the tree, but had slipped and was hanging by one claw from a slender branch. He was yowling for all he was worth. "I'm slipping," Clevis screeched. "Help me!" Dex looked desperately around for something to climb up on. There were no boxes or ladders, not even any trash cans. Then Dex looked at the crowd. "Quick, everybody," he shouted. "I've got an idea." Dex leaped onto the end of the teeter-totter, facing the tree, pushing it to the ground. "Everybody on the other end. 1, 2, 3. All the animals jumped together on the other end of the teeter-totter, catapulting Dex into the air. He soared over the crowd, his ears and cape streaming out behind him. The mighty Dex flew up into the dark and starry sky. Dex scrambled onto the branch next to Clevis. Quickly he pulled off his cape and tied its 4 corners onto the screeching cat. "Jump," Dex shouted. "Jump, Clevis." With an ear-piercing shriek, Clevis let go. The billowing cape caught the air and parachuted the big cat to the ground. Dex backed up and slid to the ground amidst the cheers of the crowd. Dex was bruised and tired, but he forgot his discomfort as Clevis sheepishly lumbered over, still tangled in the green cape. "Thanks, Dex. You really are a hero." Dex didn't think he could feel any better, but he did. Just a little. The next day, when Clevis sidled up next to him and whispered, "Say, Dex, could I be your partner?" Dex looked the big tomcat up and down. It would take a lot of work to turn Clevis into a hero. He could hardly wait. "Sure," said Dex with a grin, "sure." With twice the brains and triple the brawn, our heroes forge on, ever ready to lend a helping paw. And that is the story of Superdog. Since both of the books we read about animal heroes happen to be about dogs, I decided to make up for you one of my silly stretch stories, and it's about a puppy. Now you just do whatever motions I do, and remember, it's meant to be silly. "Oh boy, we got a puppy one day, a cute little dog from the shelter. When we got home, my mother said, 'Don't let him run helter-skelter. Take the leash in your right hand. Go outside. He'll do his business out there with pride.' My puppy didn't do his business outside. He preferred the rug. And my mother cried, "Now clean that with your left hand right now and finish. Then feed the poor little pup with your right foot this minute. Then teach him to sit, stay, and down. Use your left foot with skill and don't give me a frown." I said, "Oh, please, Mother," as I got untangled. "Ask my sister to come here and help." "Nonsense," she said. "You're perfectly capable. Now fill the water bowl with your teeth as you're able." This book is non-fiction, and I believe you know by now that means this book has true facts. It's not a made-up story, it's a true facts. And you would find it in the library under 636.708. And of course the librarians are there to help you if you have trouble finding that number. All right, the name of this book is Search and Rescue Dog Heroes, and it's by Linda Bazzo. It's in a series called Amazing Working Dogs. Radar, a true story. It is a cool evening in early June. A teenage boy in Sussex County, New Jersey, decides it is perfect weather to ride his BMX bike. He heads for the nearby state park, where dirt trails are rocky and steep. They twist and turn in all directions. What the boy does not know is that not all of the trails are clearly marked. Some are not even part of the park system. After a while, the trails all start to look the same to the boy. He becomes confused. The sun begins to dip behind the trees. He worries that he may be lost. The teenager notices that his cell phone battery is getting weaker. His worry turns to fear. Alarmed, he calls 911 for help. "Stay in one place," the police officer tells him. "We will try to find you." The police attempt to track the boy's cell phone, but their attempt is not successful. Police hover overhead in a helicopter, but the leaves from the trees block their view. They decide to call for more help. It is 9:30 p.m. and darkness has fallen. Sergeant Mitch Ellicott from the Sussex County Sheriff's Office receives a call. "We need Radar's help," the police officer tells him. "We have a 15-year-old boy lost in the state park." Radar is Sergeant Ellicott's search and rescue dog. Radar is a German Shepherd. "We will be right there," Sergeant Ellicott tells the officer. Sergeant Ellicott checks his map of the park. He locates the general area where the boy was last spoken to before his cell phone lost power. The area to be searched is decided. A search team is put together. The official search begins as a full moon lights the night sky. Holding Radar by the collar, Sergeant Ellicott yells as loud as he can, "This is the police. I have a search and rescue dog. We are coming to find you." Then, in a whisper, he asks Radar, "Where's the lost person?" Radar is released. He scouts ahead of the team. Meanwhile, the boy is scared and panics. Instead of staying in one place, he tries to find his way out. He falls down crossing a stream. Luckily, he is not badly hurt. He heads farther up into the mountain. This makes the search more difficult. Down below, Radar never stops sniffing. With his head lifted, Radar sniffs the air. This is how he searches for the boy's scent. It is his keen sense of smell that helps him find people. After several hours of searching, Sergeant Ellicott and the other officers hear Radar up ahead barking. This is Radar's way of letting them know he has found either something or someone. They are relieved to discover he has found the lost boy. Wet and muddy from falling in the stream, the boy is happy to see Radar and the police officers. Radar has done his job as a search and rescue dog. Sergeant Ellicott tells Radar, "Good boy." He hugs his dog and pats him on the head. Radar licks him back. Radar is a true canine hero. Chapter 2, Search and Rescue Dog Breeds. A search and rescue dog is trained to find human scent or smell. This specially trained dog uses human scent to find lost or missing people. Popular breed choices for search and rescue work are German Shepherds, Golden Retrievers, and Labrador Retrievers, to name a few. Over the years, these breeds have proven themselves to be successful in search and rescue. And you see in the picture there's 3 German Shepherds who are very good for search and rescue. There are other breeds that are good also. These breeds are usually medium to large in size. Search and rescue dogs should be large enough to handle all kinds of terrain or surfaces of land. At the same time, they should be small enough so the handler can lift or assist them when necessary. These breeds are also known to be friendly and work well with people. Now you see a picture of a Golden Retriever who also makes a good search and rescue dog, and a picture of a Labrador Retriever, another type of dog that makes a good search and rescue dog. That is what these dogs do. They search and rescue. The search and rescue dogs work hard to find people. But search and rescue dogs are not limited to any specific breed. Dogs of all types have shown success in search and rescue work. More important than the breed is the dog's ability to perform its job of finding and rescuing people. Search and rescue dogs need to be smart. They must be able to obey commands from their handler. Search and rescue dogs should love to work. They may often work long hours. These energetic dogs must also love to play. Playtime is often their reward for search and rescue work. Dogs have a keen sense of smell, but a dog with a long nose, like a Labrador, is better able to detect scent. Both male and female dogs make good search partners. There are many things to consider when choosing a dog. Most important, the person who is handling the dog must choose a breed he or she feels most comfortable working with. After all, they will be a team. Handlers and their dogs will be together for many years. And the last chapter tells about safety tips so that we won't get lost like that teenage boy did in the park. Before you go anywhere, be sure to tell your parents or a trusted adult. Never go into the woods without a buddy. Stay on paths or marked trails when hiking. Even with an adult, you could get lost. If someone you know has a GPS, Ask if you can take it with you. If you have a cell phone, always make sure it is fully charged. You never know when you will need it. Sometimes people in a group can even become separated. These things can happen, but do not worry. People will start to look for you once they realize you are missing. Here are some tips that will help searchers find you. Call for help. Use your cell phone to call 911 for help. Do not wait. Waiting can result in the battery of the cell phone losing power. The more time that passes, the more difficult it could be to find you. It could become dark or it could start to rain. This makes searching harder. Before you go for a hike, be sure to tell your parents or a trusted adult. Don't forget a map and compass or GPS. Stay calm. Try not to panic. People will be looking for you. If you hear people yelling your name, do not be scared. They're not mad at you. They're just trying to find you. Be sure to answer them. Call out for help as loud as you can so searchers can hear you. Calling out or blowing a whistle 3 times lets people know you need help. Stay put. Once you have found a safe place, stay there. Moving around will only get you more lost. It also makes it more difficult for searchers to find you. Moving around could even cause you to fall and hurt yourself. Make sure you are prepared for your hike. Carry a backpack with food and water. Keep warm and dry. Stay away from water, like lakes or streams, so you will not get wet. If it is raining, find shelter under a tree or next to a large rock. Use anything you may have to keep you warm and dry. If you are with a friend, you can huddle together to keep warm. Help searchers see you. Choose to stay in a place where searchers can see you. A good place to wait is under a large tree. However, if you hear a helicopter overhead, find a clearing and lie down. It is easier for people to see you from the air if you are lying on the ground rather than under a tree. Wave your arms and legs. You can even spell something the searchers can see. You can help draw in the dirt or use rocks or sticks to spell help, H-E-L-P. Hang brightly colored clothing from a high branch or spread it on the ground for searchers to spot. The idea is to stay safe while waiting for help to arrive. By remembering these important tips, you will help searchers find you as quickly as possible. Hiking is great for the whole family. Keep everyone safe by always knowing where each family member is. And that book is called Search and Rescue Dog Heroes. I was very pleased to find on the internet examples of 2 animals who are heroes. So this is nonfiction. That means it's true. When Paula Godwin set out for a hike with her 2 dogs, she never suspected that her golden retriever, Todd, would become her knight in shining armor. While walking down a paved trail in Arizona, Todd, as recounted in a now viral Facebook Live video, Todd suddenly jumped in front of Godwin, protecting her from a rattlesnake that she was about to step on. Despite being bit by the venomous snake, Todd made a full recovery. And to see what happened to Todd, see how the Arizona Diamondbacks honored him at a pre-game ceremony. That's pretty amazing that the dog got in front of the woman to keep her from getting bit and gotten bit by a poisonous snake himself, but recovered. And the second one that I enjoyed so much, when Joanne Altsman suffered a heart attack in 1998, it was her pig, Lulu, who ultimately came to her rescue and even saved her life. As recounted in the Old Post-Gazette, Lulu, seeing her owner in distress, made her way out to the road and lay down on the road as if playing dead. Then, when a man finally found her, she led the man back to her owner, and the man immediately called the police. They sent an ambulance and saved his owner, Lulu's owner's life. And that's a pig saving her owner's life. It makes me think, as I always do, that animals know a lot more than we realize they do. Now, for the craft that goes with our program, I decided it might be fun to make our wristbands with superhero logos. Now, I just took a toilet paper roll and then cut it, because you wouldn't be able to get your hand in there unless you did. And then it can go on, and then you just glue a superhero logo on your wristband. Now, I'm going to have these superhero logos available for you in the library. Or if you're just doing this at home with the things that you have to use at home, you can ask your mom to go on the internet and go under superhero logos, and she will find these same things that I found. Now, the last thing that I want to tell you is next week we are doing a program called Presidential Pets. The wacky, weird, little, big, scary, strange animals that have lived in the White House. I'm looking forward to that. Wacky and weird and strange. And I want you to be thinking, if you grow up and become president, which you could, what kind of weird, wacky, or cute pet would you have? See you next week.